Hello everyone and welcome to Off the Shelf Reviews. It's Gaming Friday, I'm Gary.
And I'm Jeff.
And today we're playing the Kerbal Space Program. Minions in Space, by the looks of things.
Oh yeah, well they're Kerbals.
Kerbals, well they look an awful lot like Minions. They seem to be all the rave right about now.
They kind of are like my Minions, except they're green, not yellow.
Yeah, and they're kind of boggly-eyed.
Yeah, they are boggle-eyed.
They look like they've been in space a long time, Jeff. And they're also massive compared to the size of the Earth.
That's perspective.
Oh, right,
These
yeah.
are close. That's far away.
Okay, yeah. You're going to make things simple for me, Jeff, because this game looks complicated as fuck.
It's good. It's educational, Gary.
Educational. So I believe you are NASA or some form of some sort of NASA institute.
Yeah, Kerbal Space Program. That's what I'm running Kerbal Space Program. So here we are. I'm going to load up my game.
Okay, and how many days, not hours, Jeff? How many days are you currently into this save?
I lost track of time. I mean, the in-game time, like many days have passed because you can accelerate time. These little arrows here down the bottom allow me to accelerate time, which is very important because if you're taking a journey which is millions of miles away,
exactly, you need warp time.
You need warp time, definitely. So
does technology advance in the time that you're projecting these Kerbals into space?
Wow, technology is all up to me. So what you start off with is, I've upgraded my facility here, but you've got your overall space facility,
right?
Which includes a runway for regular takeoff and landing of aeroplanes.
Okay.
Got a launch pad for launching rockets. You've got a tracking station for tracking your targets out in space, and as you upgrade that, you'll be able to track objects that you haven't sent up with transponders on them and things like that. You've got your vehicle assembly building. This one's for assembling your rockets. This one's for assembling your planes. You've got a hangar. And then you have things like mission control, which is where you pick up contracts to be able to complete. And then you have a research and development facility, which is where you get science to advance your tech. And then you have an astronaut complex where you can get more Kerbals to do your jobs. And an administration building where you can enact various different policies to help boost your science or your money or stuff like that.
Jeff, stop. You lost me after the first building. I didn't do very well at maths, Jeff. And this looks like the world's worst maths test.
Well, I mean, it's maths condensed down into something that you can really interact with. Like the whole management thing, think of it a bit like Sim City or Sim Hospital.
Okay.
But this is Sim Space Program.
Right.
But instead of having little people and Sims, you've got little Kerbals. So if I go into my construction assembly building here,
yeah,
you see all my little Kerbals running around, my little Kerbal engineers and Kerbal scientists, they're all hanging around, look.
They all look really productive right now.
Yeah, well, they don't do an awful lot really other than hang around there
until you launch them into space.
Whilst I do my little thing here of constructing my ship.
So this is the real crux of the game, I believe.
Yeah, what you do here. Now I've unlocked some things here. This is pretty much how you construct your rocket. So first things first, you need something to put your people in.
Right.
So you got various different cockpits or command pods for sending into space. Now, some of these are more designed for space, some of these are more designed for flying. So as you can see, that's more aerodynamic. You'd probably attach that to something that's a little more capable of flying or gliding, whereas this is something you'd probably attach to in something that's just going to bomb back down into back down into the atmosphere. And then I've got this here, which is a Sputnik, or
right,
a stay Putnik, I should say. And then I recently unlocked this, which is like a little automatic control system that I can add on there, so I can fly remotely from ground control. So you've got your little Kerbins as well. So some of them are pilots, some of them are engineers, some of them are scientists. As you pick up contracts, you also pick up space tourists that you'll want to take on journeys that they've paid for to get more money.
Nice, nice.
And then you've got your, like down here on the left, you've got your pods, you've got fuel tanks, engines, command and control, which that's like various different things to help you kind of control the ship. You've got structural pieces here, which are all things like fuselages, decouplers, stability enhancers from the launch pad, and strut connectors to keep your ship together. Aerodynamics, so you've got things like fins and wings and nose cones. And then you've got utilities, so these are things like lights, landing gear, parachutes.
There are so many options.
Photovoltaic panels. Well, this will blow your mind, Gary, because this is how you kind of put a ship together. It's all like kind of click and push fit.
Okay.
So I could be like, boom.
So you can make mistakes, and you can build faulty rockets, and you won't know if
you won't know till you get up there and you have basically you're either dead in space, or you blow up on re-entry, or you'll find the flaws in your design by losing Kerbins.
So I take it there's going to be a lot of save your game, trial and error with the development.
Yeah, definitely. But what that means is when you get it right, you're like, woohoo! I designed that. I made that design and I figured it out and I got it to work.
And I'm assuming you're doing everything on a budget.
Yes. This is my money down here.
That's a lot of numbers.
Yeah, I got quite a lot of money now, so I'll show you around. So this is just sort of like a general construction of a rocket. I've got a parachute on there. Now I'll need a couple of other things on here to make sure that I get proper re-entry. So there's a heat shield.
Okay, so for when they're coming back in.
When I'm coming back in, I'm gonna want that to
so they don't cook inside.
Yeah, because for the heat that comes down. I've got things like battery packs and stuff like that, but I won't go into all that. You will need electric as well as fuel to be able to maneuver and do things like send messages away, because you sort of do little science reports and things like that. But I'll just show you a little mini test flight here.
Okay.
So
we're going to build a space-worthy rocket.
We are going to build a rocket that we might even be able to get into orbit with this. I don't know, actually.
Okay.
But I'm just going to show you very quickly how it works. So then we'd have a stack decoupler. Put that on there. And then let's have a couple more fuel tanks. Oh, actually, I need another decoupler.
So whilst you're building this, time is passing normally anyway, and I'm assuming that different contracts are your way to earn money in the game in order to access more utilities and bits of technological equipment to build these rockets. Is that the gist of the game flow?
Yeah. So I'll quickly finish this rocket, and then I will show you how you kind of unlock stuff. What you do is you've got like science points and you've got money. So the science points will unlock a science tree, which will give you more things, bigger things, more powerful rockets. Okay, so now I'm going to add on. So I've got 2 stages here. As you can see,
I can see that you've basically for the main cylinder you've got like 4 main components.
Yeah, I've got now. So I've got what this is stages. So you got to think about, you build the kind of rocket up almost in reverse to how you're going to eventually end up launching it, essentially.
Okay.
So I've got to get some boosters on here. I'm going to get some solid fuel.
There we go.
Solid fuel boosters. So these are the big daddies that are going to get me.
That's what makes it look iconically like a spacecraft.
Up into space. Yeah. I'm going to make sure those get these. Yeah, they can be a little tricky sometimes, but there we go. Make sure those are in the right place.
Nice.
Right, and okay, so that is roughly a rocket that will launch me up into space. Now, you've got here on the right are all your different stages, okay? So when I press spacebar on the launch pad, it's going to do what's at the bottom here and then go up in order. So when I press spacebar the first time, it's going to launch those 4 boosters. When I press spacebar the second time, it's going to activate those decouplers and they will fall away. Then I'll press spacebar again, and in fact, what I'm going to do is put that one in there. So I'll put that in that stage.
So they'll happen simultaneously?
They'll fall away, and that rocket will kick off. This bottom rocket will kick off.
Okay.
That'll launch me up. Then when that rocket's out of fuel, I just have to press spacebar again to launch that off. And I am missing an engine on the bottom of this one.
I like the way that you can just grab and move the ship around and then piece it back together again.
Yeah.
It does make it nice and simple.
It's really,
quite a nice interface.
Really nice and
But
easy.
looking in that bottom right corner, there's just a lot of numbers and tiny thumbnails that make no sense to me.
Which bottom corner is that? This
Oh,
one?
in the bottom, you know, where the order of your spacebar pressing. It was a
okay.
little bit.
We can see the parts highlighting as I mouse over them on the left-hand side.
Okay, I can see how they're relating then to the craft in the center of the screen. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then
that's a good way of learning what's what.
That's right. Yeah. You just highlight that, and then you can see your stages come up.
Yeah.
And what's going to activate in those stages.
Yeah.
So I've got my little Jebediah Kerman in here. I'm going to call this.
So this is the name of the craft.
Yeah. I'm gonna call this the SS. OTS.
Cool.
And save it. And
Are we ready for launch? Do we need to put any Kerbals in there?
Actually, I just thought about that. Yep, Jebediah is going to be in there. Right, so then you can send it to the launch pad.
Right.
Now it's nice and easy.
Well, yeah, you threw this rocket together in like 10 minutes.
Yep.
Usually takes like 10 months to put one of these things together.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's the beauty of it. You get to have all the fun in a condensed time without any of the waiting or any of the horrible bits. So
Okay.
I can press M on my keyboard, and that will bring up my map. And as you can see, I've got various orbiting bodies. I've got a satellite out here, which is my SS Voyager, which it should have been my SS satellite, but I launched it up with a previously
Oh god, was that a
ship
Space
and changed
Hulk?
the name. That's
it's Stays Hulk.
Hulk. This is somebody who's got themselves abandoned in orbit.
Oh dear.
Or stranded in orbit, and I've got to get myself up there as one of my contracts and save this Kerbal. But this isn't the ship to be able to do that. This is far too simple. But
yeah.
There's
no Thunderbirds rescue operation right now.
Not with this. No, I have had to do that already. Save some Kerbals from orbit. It's a difficult job, I've got to say. But okay, so I'll just show you. So I press spacebar now. I'm on the launch pad, and boom, my boosters will start up.
Nice.
And there's little Jebediah having a whale of a time there. He loves it now. as they get more experience, they
coming at a funny angle right now.
Yeah, I started to. That's the thing. You can press T to bring up this like automatic stabilization system,
right?
Which is essentially Jebediah steering.
Okay.
And as
he looks way too wasted right now to be driving anything.
He's having a great time. and as he gets more advanced and more experienced, and you take him to greater and greater places, he'll get more skills to be able to hold the ship at certain angles.
Okay.
Or you can get more advanced.
Nice. Whoa!
I pressed spacebar too many times.
He does not look so happy right now. He's looking a little bit concerned.
Oh, I forgot. I normally have the.
That rocket! It's still going.
I forgot that I put them both in the same stage.
That's going to cause some damage.
Yeah, we just lost a rocket. But
are we still going to make it in orbit? It doesn't look good.
We are now going to make it into orbit. So as I go, I look at my arc. My apoapis indicates where I'm going to reach out in the maximum part of space.
Okay.
So as soon as I get above 70,000, that's me in space. So I can now effectively drop my throttle completely. So this on my globe here is my my navigation ball, and it indicates my throttle on here as well. And I can go to the map. And I can bring it up so I can do maneuvers from the map as well. Right. And what I'm able to do is now click on the arc of my trajectory. So I'm going to get to this point here in 1 minute. And I can do a theoretical... Oh, I did a warp there.
And what was the difference? Is it just speeding?
Escape to cancel. That will push me forward to that point.
Okay.
So, but now what I can do is I can add a maneuver here. I can add a theoretical maneuver. And so if I go to the prograde of my arc, essentially, now if I burn in that direction, that is essentially what it will do to my trajectory. Okay, so then I can, as you can see, I'm climbing up this node. I can put that movement point in there, And down here it says I'm going to hit that node in T minus 13 seconds, right?
10 seconds.
This means on my nav ball, I want to get myself pointing in the direction I want to go for that maneuver I just made.
Yeah.
On the pro grade there.
Hitting it now.
And burn. And then you can see how much it's going to take on the burn to get me to that trajectory.
Right.
Right, so I'm going to burn it right now. I'm going to try and keep steering, keep me on the aiming towards the pro grade. Even out slightly. And the burn is still got 1:35, so still got burn in that direction for 1:35. So the more thrust I've got, the quicker that will go, but the quicker my fuel will go down. Now, as you can see, that's what it looks like. I'm at this kind of angle.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of like burning in that direction.
Okay, now, so what's the point in reaching specific altitudes or rotations of the globe? What's the purpose?
Okay, so this is essentially how you fly, and then when you get out to orbit, you know, you can then control it.
Yeah.
Now, it's quite easy to go back to my vehicle assembly. This will take me back.
Okay.
But right, so
is that just rewritten time, or
that's just like I've loaded back
okay.
before. They just demonstrated the principle of flight. I obviously messed up half my sequence, but
that was entertaining. It was risky there. He didn't know if he was going to make it or not.
Yeah, he still made it out. He got into flight. I reckon I could have got an orbit there, just about enough fuel, maybe not enough to get me back. But okay, so this is what you're really after. So this is the science tree.
Oh.
And you can see how much I've unlocked, and you can see
you're
what
about
I've got
a third
left.
of the way through, I guess.
Yeah, I reckon probably less than a third of the way through, because these are like this ascends in how much science it costs.
Right.
So that cost me nothing. That cost me 5.
Yeah.
That cost me 15.
Okay.
That cost me 45.
I can see how this works.
This has cost me 90. My next one's going to cost me 160. So as you can see, the amount of science I need to get up to there is huge.
Yeah, that was like 1,000 at the end.
And the tree is expanding as it goes, so there's more entries with each layer. So I've only done,
the basics,
6,
really.
I've just done the basics.
Okay.
I'm only just now really at the point where I could aim at something like the moon.
Yeah.
And probably hit it or get back out into orbit and get enough precision to save somebody.
So what kind of outlandish contracts are you getting? Because I'm assuming the better the tech you're getting, the more space you're going to end up exploring or moving into.
Yeah, so I use my money to upgrade my buildings. They'll upgrade in size. I've got quite a lot of money here now, but I'm kind of saving to upgrade probably one of these facilities next. But if I now enter into here, which is the mission control,
yeah,
you can see how many I've got this upgraded to the max, so I can take all the contracts. I don't have to risk any of them. Once I've got them, you can see you've got quite a long deadline on them.
There's a lot of information on the screen.
Some of them are never. But so some of the sort of things you might get is you need to go to certain areas at certain altitudes and measure the temperature. You can add thermometers
for
onto
science.
your ships. Yeah, for science. And that give me 8,800 spaceos.
All right, that's the normal currency, yeah?
Yeah, I think we've been coining them as spaceos. And 3 science and 3 reputation. So this green bar indicates my reputation.
Right.
If my Kerbins die, I'll lose reputation. I think you get better and better contracts as you get more reputation. So this is that little stay Kerbin that was out in space.
Right.
Here you go. I'd have to save her. They've given me an advance of 23,000 odd spaceos, and if I complete it, I get 55,000
quite a lot more
spaceos.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that I've just got to get out into space and collect some data from some science data from out there. So I could probably do that whilst I rescue her. Test parts. So you'll get access to more advanced prototype parts, and they'll want you to test them at certain places. So this wants you to do it landing on the actual landing pad. But some of these, say for instance, want me to test it on an orbit around the sun.
Okay, now
So
that's
I
going to
have-
require a bigger distance of traveling.
That's right. I've got to actually leave the Earth's orbit.
You haven't got to
and
fly
not
into
get
the
caught
center of the
into-
sun and restart it or anything, have you?
Well, maybe that might be the future when I'm a bit more advanced. Who knows?
So, I mean, I like that this game is keeping everything really kind of scientific-y in a way.
Mm-hmm.
There's lots of things to do, but is there anything like crazy with space? Is there going to be some sort of calamity that you have to get past, or are you going to be traveling to other planets and setting up colonies or space stations? Where's the end game?
Well, there's okay. So let me show you what you've got to play with. So that was Earth.
Yeah, we've seen the Earth. We've seen the
And
moon over there. Yeah,
There's the Mun.
or the Mun.
There's Minmus.
Okay. So we're...
And then
Oh shit! Now
and now we
where did we start?
we started there.
Yep.
Right into here, and then so that is now we're getting into solar orbits. So
Yeah.
we've got planets. These have all got moons as well. Well, a bunch of them have got moons.
Okay.
There's one out there on a really strange orbit. How those two don't meet, don't know. They look like they're on a
The
collision
collision course at some point.
So
I can imagine that it's going to
they're
be
not quite. They're not
going to be incredibly
One goes
difficult
underneath
to
it.
manage at
So-
certain points when you've got so many satellites and shuttles and it's going on.
So getting out to
It's getting
Ebu,
all the way out there.
getting out to this, and you
This
can
rock
see
in space.
Yeah, getting out to there is going to be a real challenge, But yes, like you were saying about space stations. So yeah, your main first thing is going to be go out, explore your moon, explore Minmus, get up there, build a space station.
Awesome.
And then from a space station, you've got a launch pad to be able to go on bigger missions,
Bigger
out.
voyages.
Yeah, bigger
Yeah.
voyages. You can sort of construct, refuel, and then you can go and say build bases on the moon or build bases on other planets. Again,
Awesome.
places for you to be able to refuel and construct more stuff to be able to go on and reach further places. So I think a lot of these things are going to be absolutely essential for you to get to those outer reaches.
Yeah.
You'll be doing contracts the whole time.
So the contracts are really the main sort of story, because I mean, otherwise you're just
They're what
otherwise
drive
it
you.
is just a a NASA simulator in some way.
Yeah, it's what drives you forward through the kind of the progression anyway. That's what the contracts do. I mean, you're making your own story, really, because it's like your own space program.
Right.
And as
right.
far as things like calamities and stuff like that, one of the great things about this is that it's hugely moddable.
Okay.
And as you can see from the menu, like if I
There's
go back...
scenarios.
Oh, there's all sorts of scenarios, and look, add-ons and mods is just like straight there
Okay.
on in the actual menu, and there's just this web page which is masses and masses of mods that you can
Whoa.
add. So there's all sorts of things, like so you can build like near future propulsion and all kinds of different structural things you can add. So
that's quite incredible.
it becomes, I mean, once you start done the game as it is standard,
If you manage to get that far.
you just begin then really to then start being able to add loads of stuff on.
That's incredible.
And there's like various different scenarios as well. So you've got a EVA with a Kerbin out in orbit, which is
It's reenacting the movie Gravity.
pretty tough to do. Or you've got to get in orbit in Mun. You've got to refuel at a space station. So like things like you'll be able to add docking ports onto your various different things. Like I'll show you some of the things that will unlock in the science
Okay. Yeah.
in the science tree. Like you'll get all kinds of things. I'm just about to get to the point where I'm gonna unlock what's called like these thrusters, RCS thrusters. That will allow me to kind of move much more precisely when I'm out in space.
Right.
Like psh,
From
to the left and right
positioning.
in all kinds of directions. Yeah. I'm about to unlock barometers, a ladder, a mobility enhancer, and like storage container. Those are just adapters, some more advanced landing gear, a bigger parachute. That's the lander can, so that would be something that I can land on the moon with. Nice lightweight can to be able to get to the moon and take back off again.
Ideal.
This is more for plane construction, lots of more aerodynamics, bigger decouplers. There's a Rockomax, is the kind of brand which gets you into really big, massive rockets. But I've got to unlock these bigger fuel tanks. Up here is more propulsion systems, liquid fuel engines, bigger. That's the fuel tanks. There's the heavy rockets as well, like.
So when you are
bigger boosters.
When you are playing the game, where do you spend the most amount of your actual gameplay time?
You will spend most of your time between these two buildings.
Okay.
And flying.
And literally doing the flying.
And doing the flying.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I go now to my space hangar, you'll see, like, for instance, if I've got a contract, this is my little engineer's report, which helps me when I'm building. It'll tell you if anything's like drastically wrong.
Quality control,
yeah,
of course.
So I've got, say, this one wants me to measure the temperature on the surface at Kerbin's range, right? So I'm going to load up my Kerbwing Intercontinental.
Nice.
And there's a plane I designed.
This is your own design, your own make.
Yeah, I want to. I need better landing gear, unfortunately, but this will do for now. We've got little Jebediah in there. He's ready to fly.
Yep. He's the little crash test dummy.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna launch it.
So how much is this game currently selling for?
It currently goes for £30 sterling.
So that's probably about $30 as well.
Yeah, I got it in the summer sale, so it was about 23 quid.
Nice.
So you might be able
So
to
this is a
find
full
it
game now?
cheaper.
It's not early access or beta or anything?
No, it started as a Kickstarter project, but it is now
Right.
fully released just like a couple of weeks ago. So I just go bump and get my jets working, crank up my throttle, and here we go. So now if I go onto
Whoa.
here,
Yeah.
you can see how far away they are. So I'm gonna try and take
I can see
off.
that Jebediah has gone absolutely mental again.
Yeah, he
He's
loves
loving
it.
those G-forces.
He loves it. Right, so I'm climbing, and now I'm going to come into here, and I'm going to go say, right, so that was where I was meant to
Activated
measure.
navigation, so what are you now, auto?
So now it's not automatic, unfortunately. I've still got to control it,
Right.
but I can now sort of aim myself towards that pole. You see the pink marker on my nav ball.
Yeah, yeah.
So now,
can you bring in that landing gear, or is it just fixed as designed?
This is the rubbish old fixed design. The next level of landing gear will be one I can retract.
Okay.
This will fly much more efficiently and smoother
As a result, yeah.
As a result, yeah.
So can you get custom skins or colors as part of the mods to really make each one of your designs unique or identifiable?
I haven't examined it, but I would imagine so. Yeah, I mean.
Because I want to build some classics. I want to build the Serenity or
Yeah.
the Sulaco or the Event Horizon.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I have not explored the mods yet because I've only had the game a week and I've just been like totally absorbed doing what I've been doing. But yeah, you know what mods are like.
Yeah.
If somebody can think of it, somebody will do it. Usually.
So I take it this game is getting your recommendation.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's just, you know, like if you have any kind of dreams of being like an astronaut or an engineer in any way, this will play to everything you like. You know, aerodynamics, engineering and like various engineering problems which you overcome with your own designs, and then you actually get to kind of experience and fly your designs and see how they work. Yeah, you know, like when you finally get those achievements, there's nothing quite like it, to be honest, because you really feel like
you've earned it. You've put the time in through the trial and error, and achieved what you needed to.
And you've to accomplish it, you've learned something about rocket science. It might just be the basics, you know, but it is still very satisfying. And so I like, as you can see, I've got a very long way to go. That I've been flying for that long, and that's how far I've gone. There's the landing pad.
So can you not sort of just aim at that direction and then speed time?
That is what I can do, but I can only do it up to 4 times.
It's still going to take quite a while.
So when you're flying in low orbit, you can see how quickly
your satellites are going. You can see how quickly high orbit, compared to you down at low orbit.
You can see how quickly I'm moving there, right? And I gotta get all the way to there. This is at 4 times speed. I gotta get to there.
Wow.
So yeah, you can spend quite a lot of time flying.
Yeah. But then I guess you're micromanaging, so once you set some things off, you'll be bouncing back to others and then checking on others. Yeah.
I mean, like, you sort of try and fast forward to the critical moments, essentially. Yeah. But when you're in low orbit, you really are just like, you got to think, oh well, I'm a pilot, I've got to fly to a really long destination. Yeah. And like, you can't. So this is equivalent of 6 minutes, 7 minutes. So
is this the sort of game you can dip into, play a little bit, and then come away from again? I don't think that's the case. I think if to play this game, you need to take a week off work, take a week out of your marriage, take a week out of your social life to invest into this game, because I don't think this is going to be a dip in, dip out type of experience.
Well, I think if you're already an engineer or a space engineer, you're already familiar with your physics and your sort of basic calculus.
I don't think many of those types of gamers.
Well, I mean, yeah, you would just walk into this and it would probably be quite natural, and you'd be like, oh yeah, I know what to do. But if you are learning from the scratch about the principles that this is operating on, then it will take you longer. I mean, if you have no idea about aerodynamics and you have no idea about rocket propulsion, it's going to take you
a little while to figure out the science.
About going through all the tutorials, I mean, I've really had to learn a lot about getting orbits to match up with each other, and getting like how to kind of use these kind of rotational spins to control the orbits, you know, like different points of your circumference of your orbit. Yeah. You burn at different points to get different angles, and how to control your angles through that. So I've had to learn a lot about what you do in terms of maneuvering out in space. Yeah. As far as kind of like flying goes, I mean, that all felt pretty natural to me. Like, coming up with the designs pretty much mostly worked straight away. I had to learn a little bit about not getting your center of lift in front of your center of mass. That's always a bad idea.
Yeah, it sounds like a bad idea. I don't know what you're talking about, Jeff. But I just want to click on things and make them explode.
But so I mean, that flying there, like, let me show you the center. So as I can see, when I'm in my hangar design here, I can see my center of mass. Mm-hmm. I can see my center of thrust. And I can see my center of lift. And as you can see, as I'm moving my wings around, it alters where my center of lift is.
Okay, I think for Christmas, Jeff, you're going to need to buy me the Dummy's Beginner's Guide to science.
So, if you think about it, just to kind of think, imagine you had that in your hand. Yeah. A bit like a paper airplane. You're moving a paper airplane through. You could sort of feel the lift on the wings, don't you? Yeah. So imagine that lift is on the front of the nose. It's going to naturally bring the nose
It's
up.
going to do a curve. Yeah.
And so if I was to, like, say, put my fingers on it and I wanted to have a perfect balance, I'd be putting my fingers there. Yeah. And then it's
not going to seesaw.
If you just sort of imagine in your mind now it being pushed up at the point where you're sort of seesawing,
Yeah.
if you're moving forward through the air, you can kind of move your center of lift back a bit because you're being projected forward,
Yeah.
and then you bring the center of lift back, and that will give you like a nice little bit of control to like keep you in the same direction.
Yeah.
Kind of think about it.
Well, I think it's safe to say that this game's not a full-blown flight simulator.
No.
But it's got a lot of interesting mechanics that do make up for real physics.
Yeah, it's all modeled on real physics, and that is really the kind of point of it. Is all really tip-top Newtonian modeling. So it will act pretty much like it does in real life.
Okay,
But
it does.
just
It does look. I will say, from what you've shown me, I think it looks like a real fun game to play. It's at a questionable price range for myself. I'm more looking. I'd look maybe to spend about £15 on this game,
Yeah.
just because I wouldn't be too sure whether I'd get it, whether I'd get playing it.
Well, one of the nice things is apparently there's a demo now on Steam. So
Awesome. So there's definitely no excuse for not trying it out. I think
Yeah.
it's definitely a game that's worth playing and exploring, and I really want to see some of the spaceship designs that you can come up with towards the end game. That for me would be the hook to really work toward, to aim toward.
I'll show you one of my more advanced designs. So the one that sent me over to actually the one that saved my Kerbins was this one.
Whoa, that's that's a lot of rockets.
So there you go, that's a bit more of a kind
And
of
you called it the Thunderbird.
yeah, I called
Awesome.
it the Thunderbird. So I had two command
Can we see it
modules.
launch? Can we see it launch? Can we see it launch to see out the video, Jeff?
Yeah, cool. Okay, I'll just explain what I had here. It's a bit more complicated, but as you can see, I've got batteries, I've got heat shields, I've got solar panel, I've got two command pods which are both empty, and in between them I've got that automatic control module, and as you can see I've got some big stages here to guarantee I could get out into orbit with enough fuel to get back.
Right.
So that's a bit more complicated, and I've also had these things at the bottom, the stabilizers.
Cool. So what's this for?
It's
Better takeoff.
yeah, for better takeoff, because it was like wobbling all over the place. So Jebediah is in here at the moment.
Yeah, he's our number one test pilot right now.
And T minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Thunderbirds are go. Nice. Well, while we're taking off to the skies, I just want to tell everyone, thanks for watching. We'll both be back probably next Friday, or it might be Ian and myself, for more Gaming Fridays. In the meantime, we've got film reviews going up on Thursdays and sequential gameplays going up on Saturdays. You can check us out on Facebook and on Twitter and on Patreon.
Oh yeah.
Take it easy, everyone.
Take it easy.